Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. So today, as you can see, we've got another black canvas, but I've got this one, it was a black canvas and I painted a coat of black gesso over it, let that dry, I taped it off so that we will have a border, and then I just put a thin layer of the liquid clear, and we're gonna do kind of a sunset, but I'm doing this one different. I've never done this particular angle, I guess you would call it, of what I'm gonna do here. So hang on, I thought I had all my colors on there, and I just realized that I do not have my red out. Oh, hang on. All right, so I'm gonna grab my red. So I'm gonna do some alizarin crimson first, and then I'm going by a picture that I saw. And I don't know if I'm going to be able to pull it off or not, but I'm going to try. So that is the plan. Whether it works or it doesn't, I don't know. All right, so I know I need my sun to be right about here. So I'm going to use a small brush to put some of the Indian yellow in here, because then I can go over that with white. But I do want a little bit brighter of a spot right in here. So I'm going to just pick up some of the Indian yellow because that's very transparent. And we're going to make, let's see. And it's going to be really hard for you guys to see right at the moment, but, and then I'm going to put some of that down into the bottom, because we're going to have like a hillside coming down here. So that is kind of what we're going for. But I want the bulk of it to be the red. So we're going to go in with alizarin crimson, and we're going to put that throughout the sky, and coming like over this way. And I know I don't need to go too far over this way because this is going to be like a hillside coming down, and we're going to put flowers. So I'm just going to go in with the alizarin crimson for now, and we're just going to get this color on the rest of the canvas. And this is like the, the easy part. Oh, and I went over some of that yellow, but that's fine. All right, just kind of blending. I'm going to actually blend a little bit over this in hopes that we can tone that down, because I don't want it to be bright yellow, but I also want it to stand out. Like I said, I'm just going by a picture I saw, and for some reason my printer is acting up, so I every time I try to print something out to follow, it doesn't like come out good. So let's see. And I want like a mountain ridge going this way. And then there's going to be a smaller one coming out. Not really, like not palette knife mountains, littler mountains. So it's the vibrancy in the sky that I've got to start trying to get in here. And I know I got a wicked glare. And I don't want to kill all of the dark. I'm just trying to see if I can change my angle here a little bit, if it would help. Oh, maybe like that. Oh, all right, let me just try to maybe stand this up a little bit more. Let me undo my... All right, let's see if that helps just a smidge better. At least you can kind of see what I'm doing. All right, so I definitely want some of this in the, and then we'll probably end up and I'm going to go a little bit heavier here just because I'm not sure exactly where my land's coming down. All right. Let me take my, let's see, we're going to pick up a little bit of the yellow. No, hang on. I forgot. I already have the yellow on there. So I just need to get the white now. And I want that spot to stay somewhat light. I'm going to put a little bit of the Indian yellow in the white, and we're going to try to get a little something going in part of our water. All right, let me rinse this. So I'm thinking I'm going to pick up some cad yellow, which is the brighter, and I'm going to add it into some of this red to kind of hopefully get like an orange. And I want it to be more like they're clouds, just kind of streaming through the sky. instead of just, you know, like one color. So I'm going to pick up a little bit more of the yellow and the white. A little bit more yellow. All right, I'm just gonna take this and let's kind of blend this out and see kind of what we get. Take a little bit of the bright red and the yellow, and let's see here if we can gently blend that out. I just want it to be like some darker clouds. Just gonna kind of blend that out, thin that paint. A little bit. Let me take my other 1-inch brush. All right, so let's wash this. All right, I gotta move this over here, guys, so I'm not reaching in front of you. All right, let me pick up some white. And let's put our moon in here. Not our moon, but our sun. So my sun grew a little bit. But we'll put a little cloud streaming over there. So let's get some white, yellow, and red. And just kind of even a little Indian yellow. And take a little bit more white. Just trying to get the bottom. All right. So I'm going to wipe that brush again. And I'm just going to try to pick up just a little bit of white. All right, I guess we're gonna kind of go with that. And I'm just gonna pull some of this in. Just slowly. All right, because I do want to have some rays pulling out of there, so we will do that at the end. All right, just trying to wipe this brush off, and I'm going to take that same color that we made some of those, and I'm going to just try to get it so that maybe it's a reflection of these clouds in this water area. And then we're gonna pull it down and then over. So some of those clouds are portraying in. Do want to add a little bit more darkness in here. I don't know why I try something new when I'm making a video, but I guess it just kind of goes to show that, you know, you can just play around. I'm gonna see if I can get a little bit more of this red to show through. because it's gonna make that area kind of show up as being a little bit brighter. Just trying to blend that down. All right, I think we're looking pretty good. So I'm gonna pick up a little bit of that Indian yellow right on with this red and a touch of white. So we can start kind of getting some brightness in our water area here. And just kind of blend that in. All right. So let me wash this brush. Because I don't think we'll be using that one. And I got to get my other brushes here clean. When we start on this hill, I'm going to need my brushes to be clean. We're going to get our mountains in here. I'm going to make a dark color, but not... I don't think I'm going to use black. I don't know. All right, might as well clean this one and then we'll have them all clean. Last two, because I know I'm going to need my fan brush. That's for sure. And I'm not sure on the filbert, but it's going to be clean if we need it. All right, just wipe these off. I just absolutely love these red paintings. And hopefully this one comes out good. I mean, it's not going to be exact to the picture, but if I can pull off the look that I'm going for, I will be happy. All right, we are going to use the filbert brush because I need to make my distant kind of mountains. And then I need a small, like, peak coming out through here. I think I'm going to have to bring that red up just a little bit. All right, let's go in with the alizarin crimson. Because like I said, I don't... I don't want these mountains to be very big at all. I'm just going to wipe that off, and we're just going to blend that in. Now in that area would probably be lighter anyways, closer to the sky. So I'm going to pick up some blue and red and a hint of alizarin crimson and a little bit of white, so we can make like a lavender kind of color. Let's see. I've got to get it up high enough so that you can see the shadow of it in the, you know, in that sky. All right, I'm going to go with that and see. We might have to lighten it up a little bit. And then I just want like some sort of something darker right in there. Let me just add a smidge. Yeah, maybe that's going to show up just a little bit better. So let me just kind of... just so that it looks... and I barely have any white on. If it's too bright, just kind of go back over it. Yeah, that looks a little bit better because you can at least see it. All right. Yeah, I've attempted to start this painting like 3 times already today. It's gonna be simple, but yet if I can pull this off, I think it's going to have a a really good dramatic look to it. All right, I'm gonna pick up some of the white, and I'm gonna thin that down just a hair. I'm barely, and I need that thinner. Actually, let me grab my liquid white. And I'm gonna probably switch brushes. All right, let me just put some thin white on there. So hang on here. I'm bound and determined to figure out how to get some good sun rays. A little too aggressive on that one. So I think what I need to do is I need to have like a cloud coming over so that it looks like it's coming out of the let me just see if I can that don't look too bad. And I'll just try to get a few lighter bits. Oh, I think I ruined it. Hang on here. We're gonna start over. Blend. I can always fix that after. Let's just go back up here and do something with our pull some of that color over that sun. I keep calling it a moon, but it's a sun. Let me try this brush and see. And all right, we're gonna leave that. So there's just a little hint of something coming out. We'll leave it because I can live with that. Versus the other. Oh. All right. So now I just want to blend this. Just get rid of any brush marks. There we go. Just like those clouds are just slowly overtaking the moon. And we'll bring some of this darkness back in through there. And let's just blend that out. And I'll add just a little bit more of the red in. And then some of the yellow with a little white, just to brighten it up. Just a smidge. There we go. Okay. Now I am going to take just a hint of black and just kind of fade these little mountains back a little bit more. All right. I think we're good. I think we're good. So over here, I'm going to have just a little bit of a tree shining. And then here, this is where we're going to go with our green now. So I'm just going to pick up this brush that already has some red on it. And I'm going to get my sap green. And we are gonna hopefully be able to use this brush. So this first layer is going to be fairly dark. And I need more. I was just using what was left on my palette from the last painting, so. We're just gonna load our brush. So I just got it on here, and I'm just going to kind of tap. And we're gonna have it so that it's kind of showing that it's kind of like a hilly and the more the more you smush it, the smoother it's going to get. I just want to get that first initial coat on. And we've got to have this coming up just enough there. All right, so now I'm going to pick up some Indian yellow. I'm not washing my brush. And I added just a touch of white, so we have a lighter shade. And this top part of this is definitely going to be the brighter bit. You know, maybe just the front part of this hill. And I'm just gonna keep going with this color because it'll get darker as we, and then I think I'm gonna lighten it up just a smidge more. We're gonna put some flowers in here, so, well, I'm gonna attempt to anyhow. Just want that a little bit smoother. I'm just going to keep tapping that down just to get it a little bit smoother here. All right, now I'm going to pick up some cad yellow, which is the brighter yellow. And actually, I probably should have switched brushes, but we'll see. All right, so a little bit more, and a little bit of the white. And I'm just like tapping it. All right, and then I'm just gonna pick up some more of the green, mix it in so that it's not just the light. We've got both greens. A little bit of white, and that's fine because we're gonna hopefully add some flowers in there. Just pick up, do I even have black on here? Is that black or blue? Oh, that's some black. All right, I'm just gonna, all right. Just gonna tap that. Tap that down just a smidge. Let's see. There we go. All right. So let me get a couple of liner brushes here. And we are going to, let me see. I don't have a lot of, like, I don't know, pretty colors. So we're going to have to, like, I don't know, use orange and maybe some blue. All right, so I'm going to just put a little bit of orange on here. And we've got red, so we've got blue, so we can make that purple. Let me wet my brush here, and I'm gonna get some of the thick white and the liquid white. And I'm gonna start in this corner to see if I can make a daisy over this green without it looking too cucky. See if we can just yeah, that's not the greatest, but you know, all right, so we're just gonna go in to alizarin crimson, and we're just gonna make like maybe there's some flowers. I'll grab a little bit of white. I don't know, guys. I definitely am not liking them daisies. I know that. All right. So I think what I'm going to do is try and get maybe like... Whoa. I almost spilt my let's just try to get maybe maybe like there's something coming off of some of these grass thingies. And let's try some Indian yellow and some white. You know, and sometimes when you're trying to do it too particular is when you struggle. So I'm just gonna pop some, just some little somethings going on here. We have a few little flowering somethings. I don't know what they are, but, and let's see. All right, I'm gonna do the same thing with some different colors. Let's take some blue and some alizarin crimson and some white, and let's try to make like a lavender color. I'm definitely gonna thin that down. Oh, that's not what I wanted to do. Just add some more dark back into it so it's, I just want there to be some difference in colors. So let's do some alizarin crimson and some white, and we should get like a mauve color, pinky. All right, I'm not gonna mess with these too much because I don't wanna overdo. I'm just trying to pick up a little bit more of that dark to, all right. I'm just gonna leave it like that. Let's get our tree in. And then I'll walk away from it before I decide if I'm gonna change that or not. So now I need, let's see, I'm gonna wipe my brush and we're gonna pick up black. Is that black or is that blue? I can't tell, but it's a dark color. I think it's black. And let's see. I'm just going to darken that corner. Now let's pick up some more of that cadmium yellow and we will highlight it, and I think we will have a painting done. Oh. So I'm just going to pick up some yellow, which makes a beautiful dark green. All right. Now I'm going to pick up a little bit more yellow and white. And probably some Indian yellow too. And just put a little something there. All right, so I got my angle or something is wrong here, but let me see. I know it ain't. Where's my fan brush? That's what I forgot. I've got two. I've got to have a couple of little trees coming out here. To make that look like a hill. So I'm just taking the black right now and now I'm going to pick up the yellow and a little bit of white. Just like they're slowly like coming out of and let's just put we're gonna put one right here. black. So that will show. All right, now I'm gonna pick up yellow, Indian yellow, white, and some paint thinner. So we can thin that color down. And it kind of gives us more of like an olivey color. And let's I still suck at my pine trees with a fan brush. I do. Indian yellow and white. Let me get a nice yellow. Thin it down just a smidge. I don't like it. I don't. All right. Going back in, some green, some yellow. So let's get some green, and we just gonna get some of this dark color going in here. And then I'm going to pick up my yellow. And we're just going to put our grass back in, and we are going to call it. And take a smidge of the yellow, the Indian yellow and the white, and some more of that other yellow. I just want a section that's a little bit brighter. Right here. Really? Well, I guess we're done painting because my husband just shut the light off on me. All right, so I'm going to leave it. I'm going to come back and maybe tweak it or something, but I'll see. So I will come back and take off the tape though. So let me go put the light back on. Okay, guys, sorry. I gave my husband crap. He was like, oh my God, I'm so sorry. Oh, and I also wanted to let you guys know that everything on my website is on sale. So all these paintings can be had at 20% off. I think I'm going to add a little bit more black into my sky. Just in some areas. Just so that some of that brightness will kind of show through a little bit more. Almost so they're like wispy kind of clouds, or just that darkness kind of showing through a little bit. Let me see here if I can just kind of blend it in so it's not so, and I'm not liking that either. I'm just gonna pick up some red with that black and yeah, I think that looks better. Now I'm going to let me put a little bit more black on here, and I'm going to redo those trees just a little bit. But I'm going to use my filbert brush because I do better trees with a filbert brush. And let's see, we're going to make this little dude a little bit bigger. Yeah, that looks better. All right, now I'm just gonna pick a little bit of yellow. And I don't want it too bright, but I do want to have a little tiny difference of something in there. You know, because they would probably be getting a little bit of something from the get some more white here. Just going in with just some plain Indian yellow and some white. Gonna add a little bit more dark in there, and then I'll have to bring that grass over. All right, and I think we're gonna say that's good. And so let's take a little brush and we're gonna go back over our grassy area here. Again, a little bit of the cad yellow. There, I think that definitely looks a little bit better. All right, so let's peel this tape off and see what this looks like. And then once this whole painting dries, I can just kind of go around the edge with a little bit of oil. Just trying to wipe that. Had a little seepage right there. But I don't know, I like it. Now, the only other thing that we really could do to enhance this is I'm going to take, if I can find a clean spot here on my, I'm going to take a little bit of the liquid white and we're going to take some of the alizarin crimson and some cad yellow. With some of that liquid white. Kind of make like a sunset color. And we'll just kind of and then we'll take just a little bit of white and a little bit of orange. And we're just going to make a little bit lighter color, right? Just so we have that little tiny bit of sunlight. You know, coming across the top of that water. There we go. All right, I just got to put a signature on this bad boy. And I'm going to do it in red. All right, so there we go. And that is our finished painting. So yeah, not too bad. Wasn't the look that I wanted, but I'm slowly gonna get there. I will figure it out. Alrighty guys, have a great day. Bye.